The letter arrives on a Saturday in an envelope heavier than it needs to be. 6 offers consolidated into one. $4.1 million, a package price for the middle of your town, 10-day window, and a paragraph, third from the bottom, that Eleanor reads to you twice on the phone, because you ask her to. If ownership declines, Meridian will petition the council for a blight study of the Opera House block. Blight. You set the phone down next to the flyer you kept. Absentee landlords are holding this town back. The letter and the flyer agree with each other. That's the clever part. Kyle doesn't make threats. He makes arguments and lets the paper carry them. Blight isn't an insult. It's a legal status. A finding that a property is deteriorated, dangerous, or economically dead. Once a council adopts it, doors open that should frighten anyone who owns anything. Condemnation leverage, forced sale pressure. Kyle knows this. The meeting is Tuesday. The window closes Wednesday. He built the calendar that way. Kyle spends the week like a professional. Coffee at the Lantern every morning, ordered, never finished. Lunch with 2 councilmen. And a spiral-bound packet, 41 pages. Delivered to every council member and, through a records request, to Eleanor. The file on Corrigan Property Group. You read it with your boots on her visitor chair. It's good. That's the problem. Exhibit A, the rents. Ray Carver pays $640 for a shop that should run $1,100. 14 buildings, every lease below market. In Kyle's language, an owner suppressing redevelopment value, starving the tax base. He's got a chart. The chart is accurate. Accurate and wrong are, it turns out they're different things. Exhibit B, the hardware store. 2 winters of back rent forgiven. No workout agreement. No note. Nothing a lender would recognize. In the file, that's erratic, unprofessional management. Proof Corrigan is a shell, not a business. Ernie Kowalski is in that file as a data point. 71 years old, a data point. Exhibit C is the quiet one. 12 years, and no owner has ever appeared, not once. Classic absentee land banking. Buy cheap, sit dark, wait to be paid to leave. The council president says the line that travels around town by Thursday. Whoever owns these buildings has never sat in this room. You've reglazed that room's windows, both of them. Here's the uncomfortable thing. Kyle isn't lying. Every fact in the file is true. He read the data honestly. He just read it in the only language he speaks, the one where a discount is always a failure and patience is always a scheme. He's not wrong about the numbers. He's wrong about what the pattern means. By Friday, the Facebook group is at 487 comments, and people keep asking you what you think. You say you hope somebody shows up Tuesday. Then Kyle finds you rehanging the lantern's storm door, and this time the offer is $300. Flyers, yard signs. People listen to you. He has no idea he's negotiating. You tell him you're busy this week. He asks, "Big job? Tuesday?" "Yeah, fairly big." Now the part the file couldn't hold. 12 years, 14 buildings, and the number underneath. $2.9 million all in. Purchases, roofs, boilers, the $26,500 courthouse bid, the $11,000 rehab, the $1,400 a month kitchen table promise. Against $11.4 million appraised. Kyle reads that gap and sees land banking. The gap isn't land. The gap is every Saturday for 12 years. Run the rent math the way the file won't. Ray at $640, 15 years. Every dollar collected, 0 vacancy, 0 turnover. Ray at $1,100. He closes inside 2 years, and the space sits. Empty here doesn't mean 3 months. It means 3 years. $640 forever beats $1,100 sometimes. That's not charity. That's arithmetic with a longer memory. You've seen the other version. 2 towns over, A Dayton landlord group marked every lease to market in 18 months. The pet store went first. Within 5 years, the street was papered windows paying rent to no one. The market rents they chased existed only in the appraisal. An empty storefront costs more than a discount. You've been saying it for 12 years. To nobody. And the Blight play. Here's how it actually works. Commission a study. Cherry-pick the worst photos, count violations, vacancy, delinquent taxes, get the designation adopted, and the council suddenly has legal cover to assemble what persuasion couldn't. It dies against 3 things, and only 3. Occupancy, code compliance, and a clean tax history. Paper, paper, and paper. Which is the joke, if you're in the mood. 14 buildings, 100% occupied. 12 years of permits, pulled and closed. Taxes paid early. Deb Hartline could tell them. 0 open violations, because the owner is also the man under every sink in town. The defense against Blight is a wrench. It was always a wrench. Sunday night, Eleanor's office, the good lamp on. The binder. Occupancy, tax receipts, the rehab ledger, photographs of 14 roofs. She says you don't win Tuesday in the newspaper, you win it in the record. Then she closes it and asks the question she's been not asking for 12 years. The binder works either way, anonymous or not, so which man walks into that gym? You stand at her window, hands in your pockets. The secret was never armor for you. It was armor for them. For Ray, who'd have spent 15 years wondering if he was a charity case. For Marla, who apologizes to a handyman about the heat bill, imagine her apologizing to the owner. Anonymity kept every handshake honest. And Tuesday, Kyle will use that kindness as the evidence. There's a sentence you've been drafting in your head for about 6 months, since before Meridian. Before any of this had a name. You've never said it out loud, not even in the truck. You say it now, once, quietly, to Eleanor's window. She doesn't turn around, she just says, "Third row, aisle. I'll do the talking until it's time." The school gym holds the whole argument at once. 300 folding chairs, championship banners, from 1987 and 2003, 5 council members, and a gavel. Kyle's easels are up. The anchor store, the 140 parking spaces, the pharmacy rendered in sunlight this county doesn't get. You take the third row, aisle, the clean work jacket. Marla is 2 rows back, arms crossed. Kyle is good. Give him that forever. 20 minutes, no notes. Investment, momentum, the word revitalization 11 times, and the flyer's sentence, word for word. Half the gym applauds. Ernie doesn't. Mrs. Deal does, then stops. On the easel, the pharmacy stands where the opera house is. Nobody in the renderings is anybody you know. The council president asks the procedural question. Was ownership notified? And has ownership responded? Eleanor Voss stands, the way she's stood in courtrooms for 40 years. Ownership is present in this room and has authorized me to respond. The gym does a thing. Not a gasp, louder that. A rustle. 300 people recalculating at once. You look at your hands. Your hands are fine. Eleanor doesn't argue. She reads. Occupancy, 14 of 14, 12 consecutive years. Code violations, 0 open. She names permit numbers until the gavel taps. Taxes, paid early, every year. The ledger, $2.9 million all in against an $11.4 million appraisal. Blight, she says, is a word for a place nobody is fixing. She lets that sit. Somebody has been fixing this one for 12 years. Then the rents, because she saves the rents. The $640 barbershop, every lease in Kyle's chart, reframed as the reason there's a downtown left to argue about. She names the 2 towns over strip. Kyle is flipping through his own file for the page that answers this. There isn't one. His file was never wrong. It was half a ledger. One more clarification, for the record. Corrigan Property Group is not a fund, and it is not from Columbus. It is a single individual, a resident of this town. 12 years. She does not point. 300 people start the arithmetic at once. Who fixes things? Who's always around? Who knew every boiler? And the gym gets very, very quiet. Deb Hartline stands up in the 5th row. Matter of fact, county business. I've stamped every deed in this county for 22 years. 14 of them say Corrigan. He's sitting right there. 300 heads turn to the 3rd row. And the half-second look Deb has been giving you for 12 years is finally just a look. Finished. Set down. A crossword she's allowed to talk about. Now. Marla first. Her hands come loose. Then the smile. Slow. Arriving from 11 years back. Ray opens his mouth with 3 apologies queued and abandons all of them. Ernie says one word to nobody. Suddenly quickered, acid, nasted, washers. He's working backward through 34 years, like a man reviewing a card trick he suddenly understands. Mrs. Deal is recalculating every complaint she filed with the landlord's own handyman. You stand, because it's time, and the gym lets you. You're not a speech person. The room goes quiet enough to hear the HVAC you serviced in March. One sentence drafted 6 months in your head. I wasn't hiding from you. I was working for you. Those were never different things. You sit back down. That's the whole speech. 3rd row. Aisle. The council tables the Meridian proposal, 5-0, pending further review, which is government for no. And Kyle packs the renderings without slamming a single easel, crosses to the 3rd row, and puts out his hand. Firm this time. Not 2 fingers off a steering wheel. The north end, different conversation, sometime. Maybe it is, maybe it will be. Wednesday, 6:10 a.m., the lantern, the bell over the door, and Marla has your coffee poured before it stops moving, because some things are load-bearing. She says nothing while you sit. Nothing while she wipes the same clean counter. Then, not looking up, coffee's still $2.25. A beat. Your rent's going up. And you laugh, the real one. First one all week. By Friday, Ernie has the story fully wrong and completely right. In his version, you bought the entire street in one afternoon for $26,500, off by 13 buildings in 12 years. He points 3 stools down at you with a socket wrench, wrongly casual, immensely proud. Never seen anything like it. Same words as always. They mean something else now. You don't correct a word. The Blight letter died with its window, and here's what changed on paper. Nothing. Same 14 buildings, same rents. Ray's staying at $640, and now he knows why. Same truck, 211,000 miles and climbing. Same 45 faucet call, cash or check. The only asset that changed hands Tuesday night was the rumor. It's the town's now. They're taking better care of it than you expected. Saturday, you walk the block at closing time, the way you always do, and the block walks back. Ray flags the faucet, a washer this time. Mrs. Deal reports the stairwell bulb to you, then catches herself laughing. Meridian's crews are up at the north end. You give Kyle the 2-finger wave, and he waves back with his whole hand. Deb, on the courthouse steps, gives you a nod. Just a nod. 22 years of half-seconds. Retired. A secret is only armor until the day the town needs to know who's holding the wall. Then it's just a door you finally open. You'd have kept it shut another 12 years if Kyle hadn't come. That's the honest version. Tomorrow, the drip at Carver's will start again, because drips do. And Ray will call the landlord directly. First ring, you'll pick up. You always were going to pick up. That's Main Street, both halves of it. The question that's left? 12 years invisible, and it took a developer to open the door. Should he have stayed anonymous forever? Would you have? Tell me below. Subscribe to Ground Floor at Ground Floor Biz. Ground Floor tells true-to-life finance stories for education and entertainment. Nothing here is financial advice.